Alright, welcome to today's lesson on naming objects. Now this is not just a lesson on naming some pieces of paper or trees outside Barry or Harry or anything like that. This is a geometric lesson on naming objects and how mathematicians around the world have agreed to name some of the geometric things we looked at last lesson. So you might remember that we can have shapes or points, and points are normally labelled with capital letters. Points are generally placed on the vertices or the vertexes of objects. Alright, you might have a square that looks like this. We name the points. We might have this point labelled here. We might have an interval. We might name the interval with 2 points like that. Now how we agree on naming each object is that we just list the points in it. So we'll start here with the interval. We would call this interval BH. We could also call the interval HB, because it doesn't matter if we go from left to right or right to left. All that matters is we've given the 2 points that are on it. All right, so we also agree that put a line above it means people looking at it will go, oh, it's line BH or line HB. All right, this one in the middle here, we're just going to call P. So if I asked you to look at point P, I would just go look at P, and you would find the letter and you'd look at the point, knowing that the letter stood for a point. This shape here on the left hand side we could just call A, D, H, GH, sorry, or any combination in that order, so H, A, D, G, and so on and so forth. All right. Generally, if you saw 4 letters in a row, you would think to yourself, okay, I need to find all 4 of them, and that will show me the shape or the object that I'm looking at. Another thing of interest that we need to get our heads around is angles. All right. Now, angles are formed by 2 arms or 2 rays or 2 segments, and so on 2 segments, we notice that there are 3 points. So this point might be Q, R, and T, and the angle is the measurement between the 2 arms. All right, so we can call this angle RQT, or we can call this angle TQR. What's very important to notice is that the Q, which is where the angle is located, is always in the middle. We cannot call this angle QRT, because that would mean that I've gone from here to here and then down there, which there is no line. So I have to be very careful to make sure I call the angle the middle letter. All right, so I'll put a cross through QRT, so you know not to use that kind of naming. The other thing we do with angles is that at the front, just like over here for the segment, we put a line above it, we use a symbol out the front like this. Now it's part of a triangle, it's missing the 3rd side, and if you look at it carefully, it just looks exactly like the picture I drew up here, RQT. It's basically saying angle RQT or angle TQR, and that's how we understand that symbol there. So let's give this one a go. This is a ray with 2 points on it. How would you name it? Well, we could name it AB or BA. It doesn't make much difference, so long as they're both on the ray. What about this angle here? Angles in the middle, we'd have A, C, B as our 3 points. So we could name this angle 2 things, B, C, A for backwards, or A, C, B forwards. What I don't want to see is people writing angle C. And it becomes apparent later on in more complex figures, because everyone knows what you're talking about, but later on in more complex figures, this will not work. The other thing I want you to work on is, you might have just noticed then that my angle symbol at the front here looked very much like an L, so make it obvious that you're writing an angle symbol by putting a slant on it and then bring it back. Okay? It makes it very clear to people what you're talking about. So anyway, that's today's lesson. It's pretty simple, but it's something that we do have to practice to make sure we've got the hang of. All right, so give it a go.